Hey guys, this is the Amazing Fool again with a new video. So, this time I wanted to present a second build for Amara for the fresh level 50 builds, for the starting build, and this one is more invested into the Feast of the Elements. I invested as well into the Brawl tree because this brings more health and some resist. But the Feast of the Elements will be the main damage we get it from. So first the Anima, which gave status effect damage, status effect duration, and action steal status effect damage. This is very good when you're doing it with Amara because the elemental damage on Amara is just amazing. I invested as well in the infusion to have some of my damage converted. This way I can use my action skill element to do some damage if I need to take out some armor, if I need to take out some shield. I can play with that. Then I invested into Wildfire, because whenever I want to apply a status effect to an enemy, if it can spread to other enemies, I'm golden. And that means more damage. And less enemies to hit. Tempest also is amazing. So much more elemental damage increase. Just all around perfect. Dread is actually pretty great because I'm going to use base grab for this build, and so Dread is actually pretty powerful. Then there is Indiscriminate, which gives you a ricochet chance. So you hit one enemy, it hits some more enemies, and you have the spreading chance. So it's just off the charts. Just off the charts. I've improved magazine size because that is very useful when you're out there. When you have your gun and you just don't want to recharge, you just want to keep firing. Catharsis, which is pretty neat because anytime an enemy dies, he will explode. So all the enemies around him will get some part of the explosion. The sustainment is one of the best place where you can spend your points, because the lifesteal from the elemental damage, it's perfect. Imagine you're doing 10k damage, that means you're getting 2000. And if you keep on doing 10k damage, you're getting 2000 and 2000 and 2000 and 2000. Your health just goes back up so quick. Conflicts come from my class mod, and so it gives me extra effect change, which is pretty neat. And this is giving me 18% bonus damage of my elemental effect, the one I chose. So it can be shock damage, it can be fire damage, or it can be corrosive damage. Anything I need. Then there's the Brawl. I get 1 point from class mod, and then I invested 3 points into the personal space because I usually get close to the enemies, and since there is so much sustainment and so much health regeneration with this build, you can go next to enemies, you don't fear anything. It's even better because you do more damage to them, and by doing more damage to them you become more resistant yourself. The Route to Rise is pretty useful because it gives me max health, more max health. So the more max health means I can survive longer and I have more health to lose before I die, and I can recharge my health so fast anyway that it's better anyway. Then I have Arms Deal. Arms Deal increase my splash damage because elemental weapons sometimes do splash damage, and so it's pretty useful to have this. But I also get splash damage reduction. I get 21%. This is pretty useful for some bosses and for some melee 1 enemies. The Samsara is just going to be perfect there because with some Phase Grasp I will be able to deal damage to all enemies and deal 5 times damages. So I will be able to get the 5 stacks and just get 25% max health per second. That literally means in 4 seconds I get max health. And in the meantime, every time I do elemental damage, I get also some more health. So the resistance is just amazing. I've put some point into mindfulness because I like to go really fast and to be able to get close to the enemies, plus my shield is a very fast regeneration shield, so if I can improve my shield regeneration delay, that's just going to be good for me. But all around, having the movement speed and having the shield regeneration delay is going to make you more buff and more powerful. The next points are in one with nature, because you get all the max health and you get some elemental damage reduction. When you get to Mayhem mode 1, 2, 3 and especially 3, all enemies have elemental damage. So you get 40% damage reduction all around. And I put 1 point into the Guardian Angel because I like this. I like the fact that I can just maybe make a mistake at some point and just die and just get it back up right away and kill the enemies. It saves life. And instead of just trying to get some kill or being at the end of a boss, instead of doing the boss all over again, I can just get my Guardian Angel and boom! I'm back up, I kill the boss. It's like nothing happened. So, in terms of action skill, for normal use, I would say use the link damage. Use the ties that bind on normal enemies. For example, if you do the Circle of Slaughter, and anytime you have a lot of enemies. This is going to be pretty useful because you will be able to lock your target, and that will make them all connected, so you can just shoot one, they all get the damage. So that's going to be pretty useful against enemies. But then, when you get against bosses, I would recommend the Feast of Matter, because this one doesn't need to bind to the boss, which some bosses may be able to not be bind by Phase Grasp, or not be grasped by Phase Grasp, I guess. But it will have some giant feast that will just stomp the zone, and if you have enemies in it, it will give Samsara stacks. So you will get the health regen and you will get the damage increase, right? There is also like 25%. Yeah, so there is a 5% gun damage per enemy damaged. So pretty much if you can like hit 4 or 5 enemies, you're going to be golden. And then for the action skill augment, I'm going to use Allure, because Allure makes all the enemies come together and it's so much easier to kill them then. And it works, I believe. It doesn't work on bosses, too bad, but it works on all the monsters that will be next to the bosses, and so it brings them in. And if you're in the boss, you usually have the Feast of the Matter, so it will just stomp them in the zone and you will get the Samsara stacks. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Be sure to change your action skill element between corrosive and fire and electricity. and just go out there and have fun. There is no need to have a special class mod. I just have one that gives me a bit of extra damage, and which was pretty useful, but I can use pretty much any class mod I want. So here's another episode, here's another build you can use. Be sure to try it out. Tell me if you enjoyed it, tell me if it was useful, put a like if it was useful for you, and be sure to subscribe to have more builds coming from me and to have more news on the Borderlands 3 game and its future. Thank you for watching and see you next time.